Cats have a tongue with combs on it, and the combs point backwards. Cats love to play with strings, or the thread in this particular case. The thread gets caught in those combs. If a cat has something on its tongue, they try to get it off, but they can't because it's stuck to the back of the tongue. So it ends up swallowing the string. In this particular case, the string was attached to a needle, and the needle got stuck in the back of the mouth. And then when the cat closed its mouth, it bit into the needle. That's unusual. I'd never seen anything like this before.
Dr. Yesenow immediately puts Maxine under anesthesia to take x-rays and get a better look at the needle.
This cat had to be in pain. We stopped everything that we were doing here in the hospital. This became our priority.
The x-rays reveal the needle is nearly 2 inches long, and Maxine bit down on it so hard, it's gone through the roof of her mouth and penetrated the back of her eye.
I mean, we were amazed when we saw this. Quite shocking, actually.
It was unbelievable. When I first saw those x-rays, you could actually see the needle. It almost made it to the top of her head. I just felt bad for Maxine. I almost wanted to take her place.
An unsterile needle now exposes Maxine to a laundry list of health problems.
The worst case scenario would have been that this needle was penetrating a major blood vessel and we would have had a major bleed, or that the eye itself, all of its fluid would have leaked out and completely collapsed.
And once Maxine is under anesthesia, Dr. Yesenow makes another alarming discovery. The cat has eaten more than just a needle.
There was a thread attached to this needle. I became very concerned about this because if that thread gets stuck in the intestinal tract, it becomes a very serious problem and it could be extremely life-threatening.
Faced with 2 major issues, the vet sends Catherine off to the waiting room as he considers his options for surgery.
Dr. Yesenow was very helpful, but also very frank. He really wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was afraid the worst case scenario would be that my Maxine wouldn't make it out of surgery alive.
All of the time involved in this case was in thinking, organizing, planning, being prepared, knowing what we were doing.
It felt like forever, just that not knowing what was going to happen.
After intensive pre-planning, Dr. Yesenow preps for surgery and starts the procedure.
I was able to grab a hold of the thread with an instrument, and the thread just came out. It was basically only a few inches long. Once that was discovered, we realized that the intestinal problem was not a major concern anymore, that our entire focus then was on the eye problem. We propped the mouth open, clamped an instrument to that little portion of the needle that was sticking out, and then very, very slowly and carefully pulled the needle through the roof of the mouth and pulled it out. The funny part about all this is that the actual procedure itself took less than a minute.
After the successful surgery, Dr. Yesenow prescribes 4 different medicines for Maxine. She needs around-the-clock care over the next few days if there's any hope in saving her eye.
I told Catherine that she was going to have to dedicate the next few days of her existence treating this cat's eye.
I had to give her medication every 2 hours for about 72 hours. I think I slept about maybe 3 or 4 hours those first couple nights. I would go through any lengths to save Maxine.
Catherine's dedication pays off. In 2 weeks' time, Maxine is back to her old self.
I believe it was very much worth it. Maxine is well now, and she's happy. And if that's what it takes to get her to be back to normal, it was worth every minute.
I'm very happy with the way that this worked out because there were so many things that could have gone wrong. Overall, this cat was very, very lucky.